All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our opportunity call. We're super excited to share our experience with Bravenly with all of you guys. And we're so glad that you are here tonight and that you're taking some time to spend with us out of your evening. I'm Michaela Weaver. If you don't know me, I am a senior executive director here at Bravenly. I have been with this company for only about 15 months. By trade, I'm actually a physician assistant, and I do still work as a PA right now. Tonight's going to be a little bit different than some of the calls that we've done in the past. I've asked several of my leaders on my team, actually none of which who have been here even a full year yet. They are definitely emerging leaders that are doing incredible. But I've asked them to come and join us and just share their story. So they're really going to share for just 5 to 10 minutes each from basically when they first heard of or tasted Bravenly until where they are right now and what that journey looked like for them. And it's a little bit different for all of them. And so I think that you're going to get some good perspective here. Before we do get started, though, I did want to ask a favor of everybody that's watching live. As these women share tonight, will you just go and love on them? Jump in the comments, encourage them, give them some hearts, tell them the things that they're saying that are resonating with you, ask any questions that you have. We are all here to talk openly and share like an open book with you guys. And so I am super excited to get started, but I do want to encourage you to go and love on them as they are speaking. It is not an easy thing to do, and I've asked them all to be very bold as they are sharing tonight. So, what makes tonight kind of special, like I said, is that none of these people have been here for a full year yet. They are all still relatively new, but they're doing an incredible job. They're growing very quickly. They have all stepped outside of their comfort zones and shared so boldly. And I know firsthand that speaking like this can feel very intimidating. And so I just want to make them feel encouraged and supported and let you know that this is something that you could be doing in a few months too, if you choose to partner with us, because that's just kind of the personal develop that tends to happen around here. So, um, I think that one of the most powerful things about the stories that you're going to hear tonight are that no two are alike. Every single one of these women has a completely different background. They had different goals when they got started, different experiences. There are different ages, different walks of life. And so I'm really excited. And I hope that one of their stories will resonate with you tonight. So, anyways, I'm going to share my story really quickly first, and then I'm going to pass it off to one of my friends. So, if you don't know me, I have been a PA in emergency medicine for about 9 years, and I just transitioned into urgent care over the last year. I love Western medicine. My logical brain appreciates the black and whiteness of science and math and medicine. And I'm so grateful for it. But throughout my career, I've definitely noticed where there are things that we struggle with in Western medicine. We kind of have some unfilled gaps. And so whenever you start mentioning problems like chronic
I
fatigue
gotta
and
listen to this.
hormone issues and inflammation and gut problems and brain fog and things like that. I was seeing patients in the ER all the time who were coming in and they were feeling so frustrated because they had been searching for answers and just not getting the answers. And as a clinician, it was frustrating to me too because I was doing the tests on them and their labs were coming back normal, and I really didn't have much of a solution to offer them. And so, really, I kind of walked through that for a while and I knew there was somewhat of a gap, but that became a lot more personal for me whenever I began dealing with my own battle with like infertility. I was repeatedly kind of being handed this umbrella term of PCOS and not very specific treatment options. And I just felt like I was going into very quick appointments where no one was asking enough questions to really understand what was going on and to understand why my body's not functioning the way it should and why my health isn't optimal. From the outside looking in, I looked like a very healthy person. But I knew that because I couldn't get pregnant, there was a missing piece of the puzzle. And so, really, through that journey, I just realized that there could be more of a middle ground approach. It didn't have to be either or, it didn't have to be only Western medicine or only holistic medicine, but that a root cause approach was beneficial in searching for, where all of these conditions are starting. And so I kind of went through that really before I even knew anything about Bravenly. But going through that opened my eyes to the idea of holistic medicine, to the need for supplements in certain situations. And with that, the importance of where you get your supplements and where they're made and how they're blended together and all of those kind of things. I knew from working in the emergency room that supplements could be incredibly dangerous if they were not sourced appropriately and if they were not used appropriately. And so I would see people come in that started this brand new supplement and they are in kidney failure in a week. And so the idea of supplements in general kind of had a bad taste in my mind, or taste in my mouth. But as I went through the infertility struggle and got certain labs done and realized that there were certain deficiencies, I became a lot more open-minded to it. What I did see whenever I saw Bravenly was that Bravenly's supplements are all GMP certified. They are all triple tested for things like heavy metal, for concentration, for purity. So, what that means is that they're going and making sure that the raw ingredients they receive in their facilities, as well as during the manufacturing process and when the batches are done, do not contain heavy metals, that they do contain the amount of everything they're supposed to contain, and that they don't contain things they're not supposed to contain, like contaminants. And so, if you don't know a lot about supplements, you probably don't understand just how big of a deal that is. But there have been studies published in JAMA even where they were going to places like Walmart or Amazon and purchasing supplements and testing them, and they would have nothing that they were supposed to have in them and all kinds of gunk that shouldn't be in there. So that is actually a really big deal about Bravenly. And that is something that stood out to me that was impressive. So I had gone through my own battle with infertility. I became open-minded. And then actually it was postpartum whenever I found Bravenly itself. I had found supplements and realized the need for functional medicine, but I was able to get pregnant and I was able to carry a healthy baby. And I was like, you know what? Maybe my body will just reset. Like, I'm just going to give it a chance. I'm going to get off of all my supplements and not worry about it. And if you've ever had a baby, you know that that's not really how it works after you have a baby. You are definitely not reset in the perfect way. You are exhausted, you're not getting any sleep, your cortisol is wrecked, like it's kind of a mess. And so I saw one of my friends posting about something for energy, like a clean energy drink. And I knew that she was breastfeeding, actually, which was one of the things that really piqued my interest. And I started asking her more questions. And that's when I really learned about the specific company of Bravenly and started looking into it. Now, funny story is a few months before that, I didn't even realize it until I looked back, but a few months before that, I had seen somebody that I knew and respected as another PA share a video panning across the room at a business conference she was at, and they were doing worship. And I was like, who are you working for? Like, what is that? And she said, "Oh, it's actually this company, Bravenly, and I joined it a few months ago, and it's really great. You should check it out." And I was like, I did not have time for anything like that. And so I didn't even think twice about it until I saw another person posting about the energy supplements when I was postpartum, and that's really what led me to try the products. I tried the products. I really liked them. As somebody who had owned a brick and mortar business herself, I owned a little boutique fitness gym in my hometown. As somebody who had done that before, I knew how much work it was to own your own business, and I had made a promise to my husband I would never do that again whenever I sold the gym. And so I really wasn't interested in the business side. I was enjoying the products, but as soon as I started using them, people around me started asking me, "What are you using? Like, how are you doing this?" Multiple of my friends had babies within a week of me having a baby. So we definitely were walking that journey together. They were like, "Okay, what's going on? What's different for you?" And so they were automatically interested in what I had. I have multiple people in my family that deal with chronic issues, whether it be diabetes, chronic inflammation, chronic gut issues, anxiety, mood disorders, all the things. So there's definitely a need for these products. So it's very natural for me to begin to share them. And so when I started looking into the business, which I'll share a little bit more about that with you at the end, I was really impressed. And that's kind of how I ended up here and where I am today. So I'm going to hand this over to Elizabeth, and she is incredible. She's going to share her story of how she found Bravenly and got to where she is today now. Go for it, Elizabeth.
All right. So, like she said, my name's Elizabeth. I'm a mom and a mom to four kiddos. We homeschool, and my mother-in-law actually helps me homeschool. Um, but I also have my own small business in the real estate industry. I'm a PTA by trade, but once that third kid came along, I needed something a little bit more flexible. So I have a little bit of medical background, but just decided to switch careers altogether when that third kid came along. And so that's what I do currently. And so all those things played a factor in essentially finding Bravenly. It was I had our fourth kid we had in April of last year. And so I was about 4 to 5 months postpartum, exhausted, which, people are like, well, of course you are. You have four kids. But it was more than that. Like I was present at home, in the evenings after work, but I wasn't really present. And so I was struggling with energy. Being postpartum, your hormones are everywhere. You're moody. You're And so all my kids were getting and my husband too were getting the short end of the stick. And so I just knew that something had to change. It wasn't fair to them. It wasn't fair to myself either. And I was on a a vitamin already, a multivitamin that my family doc had recommended. But if I missed a day, I couldn't even tell. And so I feel like a lot of us can probably relate to that. Like I was on a supplement, but I didn't know all that stuff that Michaela just talked about with supplements in the supplement industry. And so it got to where I was back at work at this point and I was needing an energy drink, coffee run, soda, something in the afternoon to not fall asleep at my computer. And so, and my husband too, he would need them. He would be exhausted when he came home from work and would need a coffee at work. And so I had seen Michaela post probably for a couple months, but like I wasn't really on social media that much. And if I was, it was just scrolling to scroll, like mindless scrolling, because I was exhausted. And so, um, and so I'd seen something about energy that she had, and I'm like, what the heck? I might as well just try it. I mean, Starbucks and sodas aren't doing it for me. So I reached out to her and she kind of let me know about Bravenly. And, I asked all the questions like, how's this different from all the other companies? I've heard this spiel before. And so she sent me some samples and I tried them. And, I tried the first one and I was like, oh, wow. But then you're like, okay, too good to be true. I'll try another one the next day at the same time in the afternoon. That way I would always, have a soda or a coffee. And I don't drink coffee. Like I was just going to get something to give me some energy, which, as you know, it doesn't last. I was still the same irritable at the end of the day. And so, anyways, all that to say, after trying the samples, I was pretty much sold. Like, okay, I'm gonna have to use these on a daily basis, um, because they're that good. And so then, knowing that I wanted to use them, knowing that my husband needed to use them too, I immediately asked her about the business side, really just to cover the cost of what we wanted to use. And so I asked her about that, quizzed her about that. Like, I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing. You're going to have to help me. I have no social media presence. Um, and so, really, she's like, yeah, you can do it. You can totally do it. We'll help you. And it's true. I mean, the environment and the community here is incredible. Like I said, I've never done this before. And we have trainings every day. We have more than one, probably trainings every day if you want to. And even our team alone is resourceful and they want to help you win. And so I have no background in it. And currently I sit at Bravenly Director, which allows you the most bonuses. And I'm able to cover what we want to use and plus some. And so that's very helpful. Um, but really, I think all of us are gonna share that these products helped us feel so much better in our health, and we know that it's so important in the long run, just with our kids and our family. And so, with it helping us so much, we wanted to essentially share with those that we love because it's helped us so much. Like if I need this and I'm pretty healthy, so I thought, I mean, there's so many people I know that can benefit from these that have chronic issues or just daily issues. And so that's really kind of what got me in with Bravenly is trying the products and then wanting to use them long term. And then what's had me stay is the community. And so like I touched on that a minute ago, but um the community is really something I've not seen before. And so that's my story. We use just some testimonies on some of the products that we use. Cameron and I both use Gold every day. He's a high school ref, and so during the season, he really didn't know how he would make it. I mean, each year it's harder on his joints, as you can imagine, and so he really didn't know like how he would survive the season with his knees, and he'd have to ice every night, which he still did. But this year is the only year he remembers not like being desperate to ice his knees. And I attribute that completely to gold for the anti-inflammatory properties of it. And um, so gold is a big one. And then Rush, obviously, that got us off the afternoon high sugar coffees and the sodas. And it's energy that lasts. It doesn't give you the crash like the synthetic stuff does. So that's what really sold us on those particularly. And then Calm and Adapt are a big one. Cameron has kind of a higher stress occupation. And so his stress was showing in some eye inflammation, two different diagnoses. And so even the drops weren't really helping. But incorporating Calm and Adapt has, I mean, I swear by that, that's what's helped him get not have to go back into the doctor and get more drops and antibiotics. And so those are two big ones for us, three big ones on those products, particularly. Um, but all that to say, if you have any questions about the business or the products, any of us would love to help you, love to have the conversation. And if I can do this with no experience, no social media presence, you can too. So I will pass it off to Gina.
Okay, hello everyone. I am Gina Davenport, and I'm going to share my story. I have only been with Bravenly since March. I signed up the end of February. I signed up after I had tried the products for a month, but it didn't start out easy like that. So I had a friend ask me about joining her for some meeting and we could go to dinner and then we could listen to someone talk about this product. And I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And then I bailed. Um, and then it was about a month later, she said, okay, we're going to do a Zoom on a Saturday. And I was like, okay, I'm at home. I'll listen to the Zoom. And I did. And I still at that point, because I was never one to take over-the-counter supplements. I didn't take a daily vitamin, which at my age I probably should have been. Um, and so I listened to Michaela. She was so helpful in answering all of my questions. And I thought, you know what, I'll just try because February 1st, I went to my doctor. I told her I'd been having pains in my ankles and my hip. I was having this horrible hip pain. And so I went there looking for some help and I walked out feeling the exact same way. I didn't have a prescription. I didn't have any answers. And I was like, okay, well, what was that about? So that's when I decided to try and try Bravenly, give it a shot. And I tried their gold. Their gold, as I think it's their flagship product. And I will tell you that I have not, and this is no lie, no joke, I promise. I have not had any pain in my ankles or in my hip or in my knee since I've started it. And I haven't missed, I think I've missed 1 or 2 days because I ran out. Won't happen again. But when I say I couldn't roll my ankles and Craig got tired of me complaining about, can't move these. And my doctor said, oh, it's probably menopause, or she tried to blame my sciatica nerve and, it's getting old, it's arthritis, but that's all she said. And anyway, so gold won't go without that. I love that product. After I tried gold, I decided to try their Ignite and their Burn Extreme because at that point I was like, okay, I wanted to lose some weight. I needed to lose some weight. Um, and so I started that, and both of those products helped me stay one of them helps with not blood sugar cravings, sugar cravings. One of them helps with your blood sugar. And I was one of those people that would snack at night. I was a big time snacker. And once I started taking those products, I wasn't snacking anymore. I didn't need to. I didn't have those sugar cravings at night. So those are the three things that I take primarily. My husband, who was a huge skeptic, he also was having trouble sleeping. And I said, I got this kit when I signed up. And so I had this product in there, Drift. It sat in the box for about a month, really didn't know what I needed it for. And I said, you know what? I have this product. I said, why don't you try it? And so now he is a firm believer. He doesn't go to bed without his Drift. He mixes it in his milk every night. And so I'd ask him every single morning, how did you sleep? How did you sleep? I slept all night. Great. So we go through, he uses the Drift. And then just recently, I had my grandson, he's 18 months old. We tried the Mighty Mix. So we did a little video and he sucked that Mighty Mix down like he hadn't had anything to drink all day. And I was like, whoa. And so he's loving that. So I haven't tried anything yet that I wouldn't say I don't really need that. Like everything that I've tried, um, has given me great results. And so that right there speaks for itself. I never in a million years would have said, "Oh, I think in March I'm going to start selling supplements." That was never on my radar. Never thought I didn't even take a multivitamin or anything like that. So anyways, as since I've been in, I've had great support. I've had a lot of fun. And it's not been that hard because once you can get the people to try the products, they come back. So they get to experience the same thing I get to experience or I got to experience. And so it really just hasn't been that hard. But yeah, I just wanted to share it with my friends and family. And because if I was seeing great results, I wanted them to have the same thing. So um, sometimes I will do their Rush Extreme in the afternoons. I like it. They have all kinds of flavors. But other than that, that's kind of my story. That's where I'm at. This last month, I will tell you that, and not having worked really hard, honestly, I'm a teacher by trade, so I am on summer break right now, but Bravenly made my car payment and money left over to put some gas in it. So I only joined, I said, look, I'm just going to do this just so I can pay for my own products. That's all I really want out of this. And here I am, and it's made a car payment, my first car payment from Bravenly. So, anyways, that's kind of where I started, and that was my story. And I just want to share it with everybody else. So, I'm going to actually pass it on to Karen Taylor now, and she's going to share her story with us.
Hello, everybody. Happy evening. I just want to apologize. I have a little bit of laryngitis. I'm blaming it on Oklahoma weather. So I work with Michaela. I am a board certified family nurse practitioner, and I also am certified in psychiatry. So obviously, I'm a very busy person. I had been working with Michaela for about a year and had had a lot of struggles with hormone issues, weight gain, fatigue, basically just feeling like I was getting old. And I had turned 50 and I had gone to my doctor, had lab work multiple times, did HRT, tried phentermine, Contrave, GLP injections, and still could not lose any weight. Was extremely frustrated one day and was working with Michaela, and I was just like, this is just bull getting older. Like, man, this really sucks. And she just looked at me and she was like, you need calm, you need drive, you need rush, and like basically said, this is what you need. And I said, well, why not? Like I've tried everything else. And so that was in October of last year. And within 2 weeks, I immediately had more energy, more focus, less headaches, didn't even weigh myself, just was focusing on trying the products. And then I weighed myself and had lost 5 pounds. And I'm like, oh my Lord, this works. And then I started doing more research because I basically just trusted Michaela. I was like, let's just go for it. Um, and and working in mental health, I have a lot of patients who cannot tolerate medications, a lot of side effects. I have a lot of patients who ask for which magnesium to take, which melatonin. And then when I have someone say, well, I bought this supplement and did nothing, then my concern is that what you're getting in the pill is not what it says on the label. And so I've always been very skeptical when I buy anything, especially online. I don't buy supplements on Amazon because I just don't really feel that they're very trustworthy. And if you've ever taken a vitamin and then you went to the bathroom and your pee was neon green, you're basically processing that and it's not being absorbed. So I was very impressed that number one, what she promised me and the results I would get occurred much more quickly than I thought, and that the products in the bottle was what I was putting in my body. And I was very happy to learn that the company is faith-based and the products are 99% made in the United States. And so December came around. I'd only been on the products for 3 months and I was sold. I told Michaela, hey, if I can share this news and this testimonial with everyone and that they can get as many positive results as I have. Because you can go to your doctor and they can do blood work and they can say, yeah, your labs are normal. Well, yeah, that's normal for being 50 years old. Well, I don't want to be a normal 50-year-old person. I want to be a 30-year-old in a 50-year-old body. I want to feel great. I want to have energy. I want to do stuff. I want to travel. I don't want to just go and be told, oh, yeah, you're perimenopausal or that's just part of getting old. You're going to get thinner hair. You're not going to have a sex drive. You're not going to have energy. And I just refuse to believe that. And I also think that these products work very well in men, especially the Drive and the Gold, if you can get men to take them. But many times, once again, I just say, hey, try it a week or two and see what happens. But I'm a true believer. I have not had any person complain of any side effects. Any person that has tried these products will witness that they're very effective. And I get asked, well, the cost, but look how much you spend on normal vitamins or over the counter. Just going out to eat to take your family to McDonald's now is $50. And not that I'm supporting McDonald's because I don't like to eat there, but more healthy food. Um, like we ordered Jersey Mike's yesterday, and that was $40 just for some sandwiches. So why not invest that money in your own health? And supplements, it is you get what you pay for. So yeah, if you want to go to the dollar store and pay $5, you can, but that's not what you need to be putting in your body, and it can't be guaranteed that what is on the label is what is in the bottle. So that is my number one thing. You want to know, number one, what you're putting in your body. Number two, the products are effective and they work. Number three, they're safe. And as you can tell by many of the people's testimonials, that everyone, once they tried it and just committed even to a week or two, they've never gone back and regretted it. As far as the business side, I basically just
Dr.
refer to
No.
friends and family, and it has not been hard. Once again, like Gina said, like everyone has said, try the samples, try the product, and it really is a good way to make a little extra income. But I think the main thing I enjoy is seeing other people and how great they feel and how good they look. And Michaela can testify to this. I've lost 50 pounds in 1 year since last June, um, and patients see me and they ask, "Oh my gosh, Karen, your skin looks so great. You're looking so good. What are you doing?" And I honestly can say 100% in my heart that it is Bravenly. And I appreciate being part of this team. Everyone has been great. They've been friendly, very supportive. And I just want to say, as far as the business side, you can do what you want. If you want to start with friends and family, you can. If you want to start your social media following and you want to try to sell as many products as possible and make it your at-home business, you can. All of the stuff you buy is tax deductible, and you're basically starting your own home business and in the long run saving your family money because you're going to use the products anyway. And I just want to give a shout out to our fearless team leader, Michaela, because if it wasn't for her, I would not be here today, feeling so good and so happy with the outcome. And for anyone who is on this call, I really appreciate you taking the time out on a Sunday night, and I hope that you've enjoyed these testimonials. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Listen, guys, I prayed for Karen's voice to make it through, and she did amazing. She got it. I was like, I really want her to be able to share tonight. And she said, okay, I'll try. She did amazing. So, okay, so before we do wrap up tonight, I do want to just remind you kind of what I mentioned at the beginning. Gina, Karen, and Elizabeth all shared their stories, and what always stands out to me is just how different all of them are. Gina's a teacher and a mom and a grandma, and Karen's a nurse practitioner and a mom, and she does family med and mental health, and someone that I have the privilege of working with. And then Elizabeth is a stay-at-home mom who's homeschooling and raising multiple kids, supporting her family with a busy husband. They all are busy in different ways. They're in different seasons of life. They have different ages, completely different backgrounds, some medical, some not, different careers and experience, different personalities, different schedules, and every single one of them on my team brings something different, and they're incredible leaders in their own way. And that's one of my favorite things about my team. My team specifically is made up of a variety of women that all love each other in different ways and add different things and bring different things to the table. And I think we have like one of the most incredible, loving, cheering one another on teams that you could ever ask to have. I think when you get a bunch of women together, there's often a lot of drama. I know that because I work in medicine, right? It's full of nurses. There's always drama. Always, always, always. And I can't say that about this team. This team just loves and cheers one another on, and it's very impressive to me. Every resource made is shared. Um, you like my post? Sure, use it. Like everyone is just for the betterment of everybody else. And so I really do appreciate about this team. The other thing that stands out to me when I think about their differences is that I think sometimes we try to convince ourselves that we are all so different and there's something that would be holding us back. You look at them and you think, well, they probably have a little bit more time than I do, or they have more followers on social media than I do, or they're a lot more naturally outgoing. Karen, she's used to talking to patients all the time. Well, Elizabeth's not, like we really are all different. And all of those things that come to your mind. Like, I'm maybe not good at social media. Elizabeth said she wasn't even present on social media before this. And so we always think that somebody else knows more about a certain thing, and that's why they're able to do business like this, or that's why they're able to be successful at something like this. But if you look at them, they are all so different. There is truly not a one type of person who is successful at Bravenly. And you'll see that all throughout the company. I mean, you can look at the conference videos, right? We have multiple Amish people on our team who are top ranking in the company. Incredible. They don't touch social media. So you can take social media completely away and you can still rise to the very top rank in the company. There are people that are building their businesses from their classroom, from clinics, from kitchens, from ball fields, from school pickup lines, from their homeschool classrooms, and everywhere in between. The common denominator is really not anything to do with their background or their knowledge that they possess or a certain skill set. It's simply that they were willing to say, yes, I will try. I will start, I'll take the step, and I'll try. And so tonight, if you're listening and you're thinking, like, that's great for them, but I just know I probably couldn't do it, I just want to tell you that almost every single person that you have heard from has thought that exact same thing when they were on your side of the call. They thought that they didn't have enough time to fit this in. They didn't need another thing on their plate. They didn't have enough experience. They don't know about social media. They don't know how to make a reel. They might not have any followers. Maybe they didn't even download the Facebook app yet. They don't have enough confidence to speak on a call like this. They don't have any knowledge of medicine or supplements. Well, you know what? Even us in medicine, we didn't get trained on supplements either. So you can take that one off the list too. The enemy is so good at making us focus on everything that we don't have instead of realizing what God has given us, which is our voice and our story and our testimony and our circle of people. And so, even if you have one friend, you better make sure that that one friend just knows and tries Bravenly, and you can win here. I promise you. So, before we get off tonight, I do want to share some more of like the facts that helped me make my decision. And again, I will tell you, I really was not looking for a business when I found this. I was not looking for another job. I was not like trying to find an online side hustle. Like I had just had a baby and was working full time in the emergency department. I had zero extra room on my plate. But I could not ignore that every day when I went in and I saw patients, they were struggling. There were people who were exhausted, who were dealing with inflammation, who had that stubborn weight gain, who had migraines that they couldn't understand why they couldn't improve from, who were dealing with hormone issues and mental health issues that they just couldn't find healing from. People who just didn't know where to turn at that point and were ending up in the emergency department. And so I knew from my own experience that finding a good functional medicine or holistic practitioner, because that's really what I wanted to tell them, was like, hey, there is more to the story here, but I can't do it in the ER for you. Well, then what am I going to tell them? Like, well, you can go try to find a functional medicine practitioner, but I know it's going to probably cost you a good $10,000 and your insurance isn't going to cover any of it. Like, that's not really encouraging to tell somebody either. So for so many families, like spending thousands of dollars on these testing and these consultations and supplements, it just wasn't even realistic anyways. So when I found Bravenly, what caught my attention was that it kind of was bridging that gap for people. It was affordable. No, you're not seeing a physician. No, we're not doing lab work on you. But so many of those things they had products for. Their blends and the way they blended the ingredients made sense. I didn't even share on this part of my testimony, but I went from taking a counterful, like 27 supplements every day, to a few things. And one of them was a drink that tasted good that I enjoyed. And so it's just really, really different. I feel like they are tried and true products and ingredients, that are not trendy or anything like that. They are proven ingredients, but the way that they were blending them and putting them together in a way that tasted good and was something that people could continue to take without hating it was new. And so that very much caught my attention as a practitioner and just as a consumer. The quality caught my attention, the ingredients caught my attention. There were testing standards, like I said, GMP certified. And so the fact that everyday people could have access to these products that were designed to support their health without having to spend all of these thousands of dollars and try to navigate the wellness world on their own, because I knew that was hard for me, even as somebody with a medical degree, was very appealing. And so then I started really digging into like, what is this company? Who is it? Who owns it? What do they do? What are they known for? And this is what I found. And I'm going to spout off a bunch of facts. I've got a paper here in front of me so that I can kind of stay on task as I spout them off. But I just want you to hear a little bit about the truth of like some facts about Bravenly. So I learned that before that, but when I joined, they weren't quite even 5 years old. But now we're 5 years old. And we did over $100 million in sales before we reached that year five mark. And to put that into perspective, fewer than 1% of companies will ever even reach 100 million in annual revenue, ever. And we did it within our first 5 years. And so what that tells me is that there really is true momentum and growth here. The customers are trying products and they're loving them. They're coming back month after month after month, and then they're telling their friends about them. It stood out to me that Bravenly was debt-free. So to me, that's something, for one thing, that's biblical. But the Emery family has built this company on biblical principles all the way through. I mean, our pillars, like our statement pillars, are courage, integrity, and impact. I mean, that alone speaks for itself. But they built it on biblical principles. And one of those principles was that they weren't going to have any debt. They were not going to have any investors. And in a world where so many companies were completely leveraged and operating on borrowed money, I think that that should offer a lot of peace of mind to you to know that our company has grown the way it has, remaining debt free. And so that gives me a lot of confidence in investing my time here. I mean, you're seeing MLMs close their doors right and left with no notice to any of their brand partners or whatever they want to call it in their field. But you see company after company closing, and we don't have to worry about that. We're debt free. That's not going to happen. We're not going to wake up one morning and see that. We are also ranked number 118 in fastest growing companies in America and number 6 in consumer goods, according to the Inc. 5000 list. So, just for some perspective on that, if you have ever heard of the popular soda brand Poppi, they were actually ranked number 128 on the Inc. 5000 list, where we were 118. And Poppi was just acquired a little bit later by Pepsi for nearly $2 billion. And so Bravenly outranked them. And I just think that gives you an idea, a little bit more perspective, because I didn't really know what that list meant. But when I heard that, I was like, okay, well, that's impressive. Again, our founders are amazing. Another thing was that they had never had a product on back order. And so again, you're like, okay, cool. But what does that really mean? So think about it. If your customer goes and they find a product that they love and then they turn around and they can't order it, what are you going to do? What do you do if that happens to you? You try a different product, right? You go and try something else. And then if you like the something else that you tried, you're probably just going to stick with that. And so the fact that our products are so good and they're not going on back order, we're keeping our customers right here. They're happy. They don't need to go look anywhere else. And so that's another thing that kind of I've learned. Actually, that's a really big deal. Um, Let me look what else I've got on my list. Oh, our reorder rate. Our reorder rate is over 90%, and that's customers reordering the same products. So that tells me that customers are trying something, liking it, and coming back because it's actually made a difference. And these ladies have told you that. They've said, I tried a sample. I thought there's no way that was too good to be true. And so I went and tried some more, and they're making a difference. Karen's weight loss. She's no longer frustrated. I mean, there's story after story of how good people feel and fighting inflammation with the goal. Gina mentioned that. I mean, we have products that truly are life-changing for people. And so our reorder rate is obviously going to be high with that. Our products work. That's what that means. Our compensation plan is also incredible. So Bravenly pays 55 to 59% back to the field The industry average is 30 to 35%. So before Bravenly came around, that number was unheard of. And if you ask Aspen, whenever she started, people were coming and telling her, "Hey, you need to not do that. That is way too high. That's not sustainable. That's not going to work. Oh, you reached 50 million. You better slow down paying these people so much. That's going to be too much." And she said, "No, I built this the right way. We're debt free and we're going to honor our word and we're going to pay out what we said we're going to pay out." And she's continued to do that. She has built in the field before in network marketing. She also had worked on the corporate side of network marketing before she went and basically made her dream company, is what she will tell you. There's some stories of her sharing that. If you're interested, just speak with the brand partner who sent you here, her perspective on it. I think it's really cool to hear from the CEO and the founder as well. So if you've done network marketing before, that number, that 55 to 59%, probably sounds almost unbelievable to you because it is drastically higher than what other companies are paying, but it's true. If you've owned your own business, here there are no website fees, there are no monthly quotas, there are no monthly required purchases, and we are paid 5 times a month. There is also the compensation plan being completely volume based. So if you've never done network marketing, you're like, I don't know what that means. But if you have, you remember how to rank up. You had to have this person doing $10,000 in sales and this person doing five, and these two people had to each do like 1.5, and then for you to rank up. That's not how it is. It's total volume. You can sell every single bit of it yourself, or you can have people on your team that are all selling it together, but it's completely volume based compensation plan. It is not structure based, which just leaves a lot of frustration for people, and it leaves a lot of extra pressure that was put on people and relationships that we don't need. I do think that we are living in a time where a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. If you look at the stats, over 80% of people are actually living paycheck to paycheck right now, and we get paid 5 times a month. So that is incredibly helpful as well. Maybe an extra $500, maybe $1,500 a month. Like, I don't know what you're looking for. It might be $5,000 or $15,000 a month. Whatever your goal is, additional income is something that I feel like very few families would turn down right now. The cost of groceries, the cost of gas, insurance, childcare, just about everything is continuing to just go up and up and up. And I don't know if you work in healthcare or you work in another field, but I don't see a lot of fields where our paychecks are going up to match the inflation. And so that extra 5 paychecks a month has been valuable to all of us. Gina, that's incredible that you got to pay your car payment. I love that. That was actually my first like big, okay, if I could just get to where I could make a car payment, that would be like incredible, for me too. And I know how big of a deal that is. And it's a huge blessing and it's a huge weight off. And it's good. It makes me even more happy when I hear somebody on my team getting to do that. It brings me more joy than getting to do it myself. And so it's really, really, really exciting to hear that from you, Gina. But what I love about this model is that we are not earning tiny little commission checks on these little one-time purchases. Like, say, you go to Amazon and you have a tank top that you like. You might earn 10% on a $30 tank top that everybody that you know is going to buy once. You know what I mean? We are sharing consumable wellness products that people use, that people want to reorder, and that they build into their daily routines because they truly feel better on them. People are coming to us and telling us, "Thank you, you've really changed my life. I feel amazing." And that creates a much more sustainable business, and it also creates a more sustainable work ethic. It's way more rewarding, I will say, than most anything I have ever done. To come back and hear that feedback from people is incredible. On top of that, there are $44,000 in bonuses on the table. These are rank advancement bonuses that you can earn through our compensation plan. I will say, again, they're very achievable. I have not missed any of these since I started. And I believe that if you will jump in with both feet and if you will really just trust the system that we have in place, our team is incredible. Every resource that you could possibly think of is already here. There are people at the top of our team paying millions of dollars for graphic designers to do all of the work for us. You are given so many resources. You're also given the freedom to do whatever you want with them. So if you want to spend way more time personalizing your content, you are free to do that. It is your business. You can work this however you want. You can focus on posting. You can focus on hosting in-person events. You can just share with friends and family around the dinner table. You can do it however you want to. But any resource that you could think of, I promise you that our team provides to you for free. Absolutely for free. Those bonuses that are on the table are also able to be earned a second time over. So once you earn them all the way around once, you can actually be part of a global bonus pool from the company, and you can turn around, start a second account, and earn all of those bonuses. Again, multiple people in our company and on our upline team have already done that. So I don't want you to feel like these are far off, like it's a far off dream to be successful here, or that only a handful of people are ever really going to reach that. I could name multiple off the top of my head that I know and enjoy being around personally who have done that. So I have, let me see, hold on. I think there's a couple of more business things. Compensation plan. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Oh, the other thing is just the number of brand partners that we have. So there are less than 15,000 brand partners in all of Bravenly. And if you don't know, we have been in the United States, but we just launched into Canada and we did a soft launch into Australia. And so the other night we were at an event and we were talking about the population size in Oklahoma City and it being around 700,000 people just in Oklahoma City. And that's not the surrounding areas or anything. That's just Oklahoma City alone. In all of Bravenly, US, Canada, Australia, everywhere that we have brand partners, less than 15,000 active brand partners earning a paycheck. So absolutely we're new and we are not even a little bit saturated. So this is absolutely the perfect timing to jump in and be a part of this. We have multiple countries that we plan on launching very soon. And so incredible time to jump in and be a part. Um, Give me a couple minutes to make sure I haven't missed anything else. The other thing is that I didn't mention that I thought about was that about 80% of our company's revenue actually comes from customer orders. So just so that you know, it is not just the brand partners making up all of the volume that this company is selling in product. It's actually a very small amount of volume going to the brand partners and over 80% going to customers. And I just think that matters because it tells you that people are not buying products just because they have to, or they're building a business, or they're sending out samples. They're buying them because you genuinely like them. They don't think that they're too expensive. They are ordering them. And that's just an indicator of a strong, healthy, sustainable company. And I think that tells you a little bit more that there's just a great opportunity ahead. Again, I've kind of touched on the timing, but the timing here is really, 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 really good right now. So those are the things that made me pay attention to Bravenly. The other thing is just the people. The people here, I've told you our team's incredible, our resources are incredible, but our team is not competing, they're not comparing, they're not tearing each other down. They are truly helping each other. And if you decide that you want to partner with us, that is exactly what you're going to be a part of. And you're going to be welcomed just equally like the rest of us from day one. It doesn't matter what I don't even think these ladies know who started first. They don't pay attention. It's not like, oh, we were here first. It's not like that at all. You get the same support, you get the same training. There are, again, daily Zoom calls that if you want to plug into, you can, where we sit for an hour together and tell you how to work your business today, so that nobody ever feels confused or alone or like they don't know what the next step should be. Every single day, you have that available for you. So I'm incredibly proud of my team. I'm incredibly proud of these ladies who shared tonight and shared boldly and shared openly. I know that was hard and took some courage, and I'm so proud of you guys. And I want to thank you, each of you, for sharing. I also just want to tell you that if you are interested in this business, there is going to be a special. I did extend this call to other teams as well so that they could tune in. I can only offer the special to my team alone, but just get with the brand partner who invited you. There's going to be a sign up special that if anybody's interested in becoming a brand partner here, I will be offering for our whole team, my entire downline. And I just want you to know that I never want money to be the reason that you miss this opportunity. And so if that is what's holding you back, I really ask that you would just be vulnerable and open with us. Realize there's multiple people on our team who started in that same boat, and that if you're in that boat, you need this. Like you need this so badly, and it can be a solution to so many problems. And so I would never want not being able to purchase the kit to get started to hold you back. I will tell you, we have options from $50 all the way up to $6.99, and there's multiple in between. The kits to get started are our products, except for the $50 one does not include any products. Everything else includes product at a deep discount. I always want to tell brand partners when they're getting started, I'm not trying to upsell you, but I wish somebody had told me this at the beginning as bluntly as I'm going to tell you this, okay? This is your one chance to get this big of a discount on a kit. Um, I cannot go pay Bravenly $1 million to sell me another kit. And I wish I had bought a bigger kit. I wish I had taken advantage of that opportunity to get that big discount, to have samples ready, because I turned around and just started ordering more and more and more because people wanted samples as soon as I signed up. And so I just want you to think about that when you are purchasing your kit. We do have payment plans available through Affirm and through Klarna. Again, we're willing to help. There's incredible generosity that flows from the very top of this company all the way down, and we always want to continue to be good stewards of that. And so, if money is holding you back, please be open with the person who invited you to this call. And we want to chat with you more. Every single one of them knows that they are more than welcome to put you in a three-way chat with me, and we can talk about any questions that you have regarding the products or the business. If you're interested in just the products and not the business yet, and you don't know where to get started, we have some other videos where we have covered the products specifically. And we also have a wellness form that you can fill out. If you want to fill that out, we will make a personalized product recommendation for you as well. So thank you all so much for coming tonight, so much for spending time with us. If you watch this live, please cheer these ladies on. Tell them thank you for their time tonight. If you're watching the replay, I hope that you'll ask any questions in the comments and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Good night, guys.